What if I told you there are 5 dark secrets that can make any woman feel an uncontrollable pull toward you? Secrets most men will never know, but once you do, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. In this video, I'm revealing the psychology, the power plays, and the subtle triggers that make you absolutely irresistible. Watch till the end. You won't be single after this. Being single isn't always a choice. Maybe you've tried apps, gone on dates, and put yourself out there, yet nothing seems to work. You see other people getting into relationships while you're still stuck in the same cycle. It's frustrating, and at some point, you start asking yourself, is it me? Am I doing something wrong? In the past, meeting someone felt more natural. People got to know each other through friends, family, or everyday life. Today, dating feels like a game, one where the rules keep changing. With endless options, people hesitate to commit, always wondering if someone better is just a swipe away. Conversations fade, interest disappears, and ghosting has become normal. It's easy to blame technology or say modern dating is broken, but that's only part of the story. The truth is, many people unknowingly make mistakes that hold them back. Some set unrealistic expectations, others repeat the same behaviors hoping for different results, and sometimes fear of rejection or commitment prevents people from even trying. If you've ever wondered why dating feels this difficult, you're not alone. This video will go over the biggest reasons people struggle to find a meaningful relationship today. More importantly, it will show what can be done about it. Whether you're frustrated with the dating world or just looking for clarity, you'll walk away with a new perspective. There are many reasons why people stay single longer than they expected. Some of these are within their control, while others are influenced by the world around them. The dating landscape has changed, and so have people's expectations. While some struggle to find a connection, others unknowingly push away potential partners. Understanding the most common reasons for prolonged singleness can help break the cycle. Expectations in relationships have shifted significantly. In the past, people settled down earlier, often prioritizing stability over deep emotional compatibility. Today, many are searching for an ideal partner, someone who checks every box and meets every need. While standards are important, they can also make dating more difficult. The rise of social media has only heightened this issue. People compare their relationships to picture-perfect couples online, forgetting that these images don't show the struggles behind the scenes. As a result, some singles reject potential partners too quickly, convinced there must be someone better out there. At the same time, many approach dating with a long checklist, expecting perfection before they even get to know someone. This mindset makes it harder to connect, as real relationships are built through shared experiences, not instant compatibility. While having standards is necessary, expecting flawlessness can lead to disappointment. Dating apps have made meeting people easier than ever, but they've also created new challenges. With so many options available, people often engage in endless swiping, treating dating like a numbers game. This leads to shallow connections, where conversations rarely go beyond a few messages before fading away. Another issue is the illusion of unlimited choice. When someone believes there's always a better match out there, they may avoid committing, fearing they'll miss out on something greater. This phenomenon, known as the paradox of choice, leaves many people feeling unsatisfied with dating, even when they meet someone great. Technology has also changed communication. Texting and messaging remove the natural flow of in-person interaction, making it harder to read intentions. Misunderstandings, ghosting, and lack of effort have become common, leaving many feeling discouraged. While apps and social media can help people connect, they should be used as tools, not replacements for real-life interaction. Relying too much on them can lead to frustration and a sense of detachment from genuine dating experiences. Not everyone who stays single struggles to find dates. Some actively avoid relationships, even when they have the chance. Fear of commitment is more common than people realize, and it doesn't always stem from a lack of interest. For many, past experiences, heartbreak, or fear of vulnerability keep them from forming deep connections. Some worry about making the wrong choice. Committing to one person feels like closing the door to other possibilities, creating anxiety about settling for less than they deserve. Others have been hurt before and fear experiencing the same pain again. Instead of opening up, they keep relationships at a distance. There's also the issue of independence. Many people enjoy their freedom and hesitate to share their life with someone else. They associate relationships with restrictions, unaware that a healthy relationship should enhance life rather than limit it. Breaking free from commitment fears requires self-awareness. Understanding personal hesitations and addressing past wounds can help build confidence in relationships. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, shifting the mindset toward what could go right makes commitment feel less like a risk and more like an opportunity. Before we continue with the video and dive deeper into the issues with modern dating, I'd love to ask for your support. I'm working towards reaching 1,000 subscribers, and your subscription would mean a lot. If you enjoy this content, consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps. Alright, let's get back to it. Understanding why dating feels difficult is important, but the next step is making changes that lead to real connections. Many people stay single longer than they want to because they rely on the same habits and approaches that haven't worked in the past. Instead of repeating old patterns, shifting perspectives and adopting new strategies can make a difference. One of the most overlooked aspects of dating is self-awareness. Many singles focus on external factors, where to meet people, what to say on a date, but rarely stop to examine their own habits, beliefs, and behaviors. A lack of self-reflection can lead to repeating the same mistakes without realizing it. A good place to start is by identifying patterns in past experiences. If relationships tend to fizzle out quickly or never progress beyond the first few dates, it's worth considering why. Are expectations too rigid? Is there hesitation to open up emotionally? Recognizing personal tendencies can help break cycles that hold people back. Another key factor is confidence. Many people assume they need to improve their looks, income, or social status to attract a partner, but real confidence comes from within. Developing interests, setting personal goals, and creating a fulfilling life outside of dating naturally makes someone more attractive. The best relationships aren't about needing someone else to feel complete. They're about choosing to share a life that's already meaningful. Instead of waiting for the right person to come along, focusing on self-improvement makes dating more enjoyable and fulfilling. When people feel good about themselves, they attract others who appreciate them for who they truly are. Many singles limit themselves without realizing it. They go to the same places, interact with the same people, and expect different results. But dating is, in many ways, a numbers game. The more people you meet, the higher the chances of forming a real connection. A common mistake is relying solely on dating apps. While they can be useful, they shouldn't be the only way to meet potential partners. Expanding social circles through hobbies, events, and group activities increases opportunities for natural connections. Whether it's joining a sports league, taking a class, or attending networking events, putting yourself in new environments can lead to unexpected encounters. Another overlooked option is making social introductions more intentional. Friends, co-workers, and acquaintances often know people who might be a great match, yet many don't think to ask for introductions. While blind dates have a reputation for being awkward, meeting someone through mutual connections often leads to more genuine interactions than random online matches. By stepping outside of routine and embracing new experiences, dating stops feeling like a chore and becomes a natural part of everyday life. A major reason people struggle in dating is unrealistic expectations. Movies, TV shows, and social media have created a false image of love, one where every relationship starts with instant chemistry and effortless perfection. In reality, strong relationships take time to develop. One common issue is dismissing potential partners too quickly. Attraction isn't always immediate, and deep compatibility isn't obvious on a first date. While it's important to feel a connection, expecting an instant spark can cause people to overlook great matches. Some of the strongest relationships start with a slow build rather than an immediate rush. Another issue is perfectionism. Nobody is flawless, and expecting a partner to meet every ideal standard is unrealistic. The goal isn't to find someone without flaws, it's to find someone whose imperfections are worth accepting. Recognizing what truly matters versus what's negotiable makes dating more successful and less frustrating. At the same time, balance is key. Lowering expectations too much can lead to settling, which isn't healthy either. The goal is to find someone whose values, goals, and lifestyle align in a way that feels natural and fulfilling. By adjusting expectations and being open to different possibilities, dating becomes less about searching for perfection and more about discovering genuine compatibility. While traditional dating methods work for some, others find themselves frustrated by the same cycle of dating apps, failed first dates, and short-lived connections. For those who feel stuck, exploring alternative ways to meet people can make a significant difference. In an era dominated by dating apps, many overlook the benefits of matchmaking services. Unlike swiping endlessly through profiles, matchmaking takes a more personalized approach. Professional matchmakers consider compatibility beyond surface-level traits, focusing on values, interests, and long-term goals. One major advantage of matchmaking is that it filters out people who aren't serious about relationships. Many dating apps are filled with people looking for casual interactions, leading to wasted time and frustration. With a matchmaking service, every introduction is made with real intent. Matchmaking also removes some of the pressure from dating. Instead of spending hours crafting the perfect profile or navigating awkward small talk online, individuals are introduced to people already pre-screened for compatibility. This creates a more organic and efficient way to meet potential partners. While it may not be for everyone, those who feel burnt out by modern dating methods might find matchmaking a refreshing alternative that prioritizes meaningful connections over fleeting interactions. Another overlooked option is in-person dating events. While digital platforms have made dating more accessible, they often lack the natural chemistry that comes from face-to-face interaction. Singles events, speed dating, and hobby-based gatherings provide a way to meet meet people in a more relaxed, low-pressure setting. Unlike online dating, where messages can easily be ignored or misinterpreted, in-person events allow for real conversations. Body language, tone of voice, and genuine expressions help people gauge attraction and compatibility more effectively. These events also encourage meeting people outside of typical social circles. Many singles limit themselves to the same environments, reducing the chance of meeting someone new. Attending structured dating events introduces fresh opportunities and removes the uncertainty of wondering whether someone is open to a relationship. For those tired of endless texting and ghosting, stepping away from screens and engaging in real-life interactions can bring a new perspective to dating. Whether through networking mixers, interest-based meetups, or traditional speed dating, taking an offline approach can lead to more meaningful experiences. Imagine this: you're sitting alone on a Friday night, scrolling through social media. Your feed is filled with couples posting pictures, going on trips, celebrating anniversaries. You tell yourself it doesn't bother you, but deep down, there's a lingering thought: why is this so easy for everyone else, but not for me? Maybe you've been here before. Maybe you've tried dating apps, gone on dates, and put in the effort, yet nothing seems to stick. The conversations fade, interest disappears, and the cycle repeats. Over time, frustration turns into doubt. You start wondering if love is just something that happens to other people. But here's the truth: staying single isn't always about luck, it's about patterns. The way we approach dating, the expectations we set, the fears we don't even realize we have. Most people go through dating on autopilot, not recognizing the habits that keep them stuck. The good news: patterns can be changed. The real question is, what will you do differently? Will you step out of your comfort zone? Will you try something new, expand your social circle, or rethink your approach to dating? The people who find lasting relationships aren't always the luckiest or the best looking. They're the ones who make intentional choices. If this video made you think, or if you recognize yourself in any of these struggles, let me know in the comments. What's the biggest challenge you face when it comes to dating? Ever feel like you're speaking a different language when it comes to women? 1 minute, she's laughing at your jokes, texting back fast, seems super into you. Next minute, cold, distant, gone. And you're left sitting there, replaying every moment, wondering what you did wrong. Here's the truth: women have secrets, real ones. Not just about what they want, but about what they really think. The stuff they don't tell you, even when you ask directly. And if you don't understand what's going on underneath the surface, you'll keep getting blindsided. You'll keep losing to guys who seem like they're doing less, but somehow win more. This video, it's your edge. I'm going to uncover 5 things women almost never say out loud, but they live by them. These aren't made-up rules or pick-up artist games. These are facts that can flip how you see attraction forever. Once you know what she's not telling you, you'll stop playing catch-up. You'll stop wondering what happened and start noticing the patterns for what they are. This isn't about changing who you are. It's about understanding the game you're already in and finally learning how to play it better. Because once you see what's really going on behind that smile or silence, trust me, everything changes. A lot of guys think women have it all figured out emotionally. They assume she's confident, knows what she wants, and is just waiting for the right man to come along. But behind that polished exterior, there's often a very different reality. Most women are carrying emotional weight you'll never see unless you know what to look for. From childhood, women are taught to be careful. Careful with their words, their emotions, and who they trust. As they grow up, they learn to protect their feelings behind layers of confidence or sarcasm. Many of them have been hurt by past relationships, family issues, or the world constantly telling them how they should be. So instead of expressing their vulnerability openly, they keep it hidden. That's why your presence matters more than your words. If you come off unsure of yourself, too eager, or emotionally dependent, it adds pressure to her already guarded mindset. But if you stay centered, calm, and non-reactive, especially when she pulls away or tests you, she feels something rare: emotional safety. And that safety creates space. Space for her to drop the mask, to stop performing, and to let her guard down. She won't tell you this directly, but she'll feel it. She'll act differently around you. Because she's not just looking for a guy who says the right things. She's looking for a man who can handle her without flinching. You don't have to be a therapist or try to fix anything. Just being consistent, honest, and emotionally solid is enough to create a connection that actually lasts. Before we continue with the video and dive deeper into the issues with emotional vulnerability and how it affects attraction, I'd love to ask for your support. I'm working towards reaching 1,000 subscribers, and your subscription would mean a lot. If you enjoy this content, consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps. Alright, let's get back to it. Here's something most women won't admit out loud. They want a man who knows how to lead. That doesn't mean barking orders or being controlling. Real leadership is quiet confidence. It's the ability to step up, take initiative, and make decisions without waiting for permission. A lot of guys avoid this role because they're afraid of being too much. They don't want to come across as arrogant or overbearing. So they shrink back, always asking what she wants, always leaving the door open. It sounds thoughtful, but over time it starts to feel like she has to carry the weight of the relationship. And that's when interest starts to fade. When a man can guide without forcing, it creates something powerful: relief. She doesn't have to guess what you want or constantly drive the interaction. Whether it's planning the date, starting the conversation, or setting the pace, your decisiveness gives her something to trust. It also shows her that you're not afraid to take risks. When you say, "Let's do this," instead of, "I don't know, what do you feel like?" you're showing clarity. And clarity is rare. It tells her you know who you are and what you're about. That kind of energy creates a natural pull, without effort, without pressure. It doesn't mean ignoring her voice. True leadership includes listening and making space for her input, but it also means you're not afraid to move first. In a world full of indecision, a man who leads with strength and calm stands out. She may not say it, but she'll feel it every time. Here's a secret few guys really grasp. Women often don't communicate directly. They're not being dishonest. It's just that their emotional world runs deep, and how they express things can be more subtle. If you're expecting everything to be spelled out, you'll miss what's really going on. For example, if she says, "I'm fine," but her energy is clearly off, she's not fine. When she says, "Do whatever you want," it might not be actual permission. It could be disappointment in disguise. Women are trained from a young age not to appear overly emotional or demanding, so instead they communicate through tone, timing, and behavior. The key is to listen beyond the words. Pay attention to how she says something, not just what she says. Look at the vibe, the body language, the pauses between her sentences. If you learn to read the emotional cues, you'll stand out instantly. When a guy gets frustrated and says, "Just tell me what you want," he's showing that he's checked out of the moment. What works better is staying calm and curious. "I feel like something's bothering you. Want to talk about it?" That shows presence, and presence makes her feel understood. This doesn't mean walking on eggshells. It means not taking every word at surface level. You stay steady, keep your cool, and respond instead of react. That steadiness builds trust. You don't have to solve every emotion. You just need to hold space for it. And that alone puts you miles ahead of most guys she's dealt with. A lot of men get confused when a woman says she wants space but also wants attention. She acts like she doesn't need anyone but gets upset when you seem distant. The truth, women are wired to want both independence and connection. And if you don't understand how to handle that mix, it can throw you off. Here's the deal. Most modern women are proud of being self-sufficient. They work hard, take care of themselves, and don't want to feel like they depend on anyone. But that doesn't mean they want to do everything alone. Deep down, they still want someone they can lean on emotionally, but only if it doesn't come at the cost of their freedom. This is where many guys go wrong. Some smother her with constant attention, trying to show how much they care. Others pull back completely, thinking, "She's independent, she doesn't need me." Both extremes push her away. The key is finding the middle ground. Let her handle her world, but be someone she can count on. Your steadiness matters more than constant attention. It tells her you're confident enough not to cling, and secure enough not to disappear. That balance is what makes her feel emotionally safe and respected. Sometimes she'll pull away to test if you'll panic. Don't. Let her breathe, but stay steady. When she sees you're not shaken, she feels more drawn in. Support isn't about fixing problems. It's about being solid. She wants to know you're strong enough to stand beside her, not in front of her. Get this right, and she won't just stick around. She'll open up in ways you've never seen. There's a silent layer in every relationship that most guys overlook. What she expects without ever saying it out loud. These aren't official rules, and she probably won't even admit to having them. But they're there, and if you miss them, you'll feel the distance grow without knowing why. She won't always tell you what she needs. She expects you to notice. She might never say, "I want you to lead," but she'll feel disappointed when you keep asking her to make every decision. She won't say, "I need to trust your word," but if you cancel plans or show up late, she'll feel something's off, even if she shrugs it off in the moment. These expectations aren't about perfection, they're about consistency. It's not the grand gestures she remembers, it's the follow-through. Do you mean what you say? Can she rely on you emotionally? Can you stay calm when things get hard? Take Daniel, for example. He thought things were going great until she suddenly pulled away. No fight, no drama, just distance. Looking back, he realized he kept canceling plans last minute and brushed off her feelings when she hinted something was wrong. She never confronted him. She didn't have to, she just left. He didn't break a rule. The tricky part is that she may not explain this. If you fall short, she's unlikely to give you a list of what to fix. Instead, she'll start pulling back. Less eye contact, short replies, excuses instead of effort. Want to stand out? Learn to observe. Watch how she reacts more than what she says. And lead yourself well, because her unspoken expectation is this: be the kind of man who doesn't need to be told how to show up. There's one trait that separates men who constantly get ghosted, played, or overlooked from the ones women can't stop thinking about. It's not money, looks, or clever pickup lines. It's emotional control. When you stay calm under pressure, when you don't react out of insecurity or neediness, you instantly become more attractive. Why? Because emotional control signals strength, and strength is magnetic. Most guys don't realize how much their reactions kill attraction. They blow up when a text goes unanswered. They sulk when plans change. They act like it's personal when it's not. That kind of emotional instability makes her feel like she has to manage you, and that's the last thing she wants. Now flip it. You get a dry reply, you keep your vibe steady. She seems distant, you don't panic. You give space and focus on your own life. You hit a rough patch in the conversation. You don't force it, you adjust and move forward. That kind of calm energy says, I'm in control of me. And that's powerful. It shows maturity. It shows that you're not desperate for attention or validation. It shows you have a life you're proud of, and you're simply inviting her into it. Emotional control doesn't mean you're cold or fake. It means you feel everything, but you don't let your emotions run the show. You breathe, you think, and then you act. If you want long-term respect and deep attraction, mastering your emotional responses is the move. It's quiet strength, and it's what makes her stay. We've covered a lot, and if you've made it this far, you already see things differently than most men ever will. You now understand that women won't always tell you what's going on, not because they want to play games, but because they're navigating their own fears, tests, and emotional layers. What separates the guy who gets stuck in confusion from the one who wins in dating is awareness. It's not about being slick or memorizing lines. It's about knowing how to move with confidence through silence, tension, and mixed signals. Once you understand the deeper patterns behind emotional vulnerability, unspoken expectations, and communication cues, everything starts to click. Remember, this isn't about controlling anyone. It's about controlling yourself. The more grounded you are, the more magnetic you become. You stop chasing and start choosing. You stop reacting and start leading. So here's my question for you. What's one moment in your past where you now realize you missed a sign? A text you misunderstood? A conversation that shifted, but you didn't see why? Drop it in the comments. Ever wonder why some guys just seem to attract women without even trying, while others struggle no matter what they do? The secret isn't luck. It's about knowing the right balance between being nice and being confident. Most men fall into one of two traps. They're either the nice guy, always available, always saying yes, and unfortunately, always stuck in the friend zone. Or they go too far the other way, acting like a bad boy, cold, distant, and constantly cycling through short-term flings. But what if I told you there's a third way? A way to become the kind of guy women are naturally drawn to and deeply connect with. This isn't about tricks or playing games. It's about understanding how attraction really works so you can be a man who stands out. Today, I'll show you how to master the balance of confidence and kindness, the kind of guy who earns both respect and love. By the time we're done, you'll have a clear understanding of what actually makes a man attractive and how you can apply it in your own life. Being a nice guy sounds great in theory. You treat her well, always say yes, and make sure she knows you care. But here's the harsh truth. Being too nice can make you seem weak or predictable. Women don't want a doormat. They want a man they can admire and respect. When you always put her needs first, she stops seeing you as a challenge. And attraction thrives on challenge. If she knows you'll always be available, she won't value your time. The more you chase her, the more she pulls away. That's why many nice guys find themselves stuck in the friend zone, because they give too much without inspiring real attraction. Nice guys also struggle because they assume being overly kind will naturally lead to romance. But attraction doesn't work that way. Women want kindness, but they also want excitement, a bit of unpredictability, and a man who isn't afraid to say no when needed. On the other side, you have the bad boy. He's confident, mysterious, and doesn't care what anyone thinks. Women are naturally drawn to his confidence, but the problem is, bad boys often lack emotional depth. Sure, they can spark excitement, but their relationships tend to be short-lived. Why? Because eventually, a woman realizes that a guy who never shows kindness or care isn't worth investing in. She may chase him at first, but she won't stay. No one wants to feel like they don't matter. A bad boy might get attention in the beginning, but over time, his inability to connect emotionally pushes women away. He's fun, but he's not reliable, and reliability matters more than temporary thrills. So what's the solution? You don't need to be a pushover, and you don't need to be heartless. The key is to be a man who is kind, but not a doormat, confident, but not arrogant, loving, but with boundaries. A high-value man knows how to lead, set boundaries, and still be thoughtful. He can show love, but he doesn't overdo it to the point of desperation. He's reliable, but not predictable. He's strong, but not controlling, and most importantly, he respects himself, which makes others respect him too. Before we continue, I'd really appreciate your support. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, and every single one counts. If you're enjoying this so far, take a second to subscribe. It's free and helps a lot. Thanks. Now let's move on. Attraction isn't just about looks or status, it's about how people perceive you. Human brains naturally focus on exceptions. If you're always nice, that kindness becomes invisible. But if you're mostly confident and independent, an occasional act of kindness stands out. Think about it. If you're constantly giving, people start expecting it. But when someone who is usually reserved suddenly does something thoughtful, it feels special. That's why unpredictable, high-value men hold more power in relationships than guys who overdo kindness. This is true for all social interactions, not just dating. If you always agree with people, they take it for granted. But if you challenge them or say no sometimes, they value your approval more. Women respect men who have opinions and aren't afraid to stand their ground. Ever wonder why some women stay hooked on men who aren't fully available? It's because uncertainty builds attraction. Studies show that unpredictability triggers dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical. That's why games, gambling, and even social media notifications keep people addicted. The same principle applies to relationships. A guy who is too predictable, texting good morning every day, always agreeing, never challenging, quickly loses his appeal. But a man who keeps things interesting by being playful, teasing, or occasionally unavailable creates excitement. This doesn't mean playing mind games or ignoring her. It simply means being a man who has his own life, his own ambitions, and doesn't make a woman his entire world. When she's not sure what you'll do next, in a fun way, she stays emotionally invested. The secret is balance. Be consistent in your respect, but unpredictable in your behavior. Keep her guessing, not about your loyalty, but about the experience of being with you. That's what keeps attraction alive. One of the biggest differences between a high-value man and a nice guy is communication. Many men think they have to be overly polite or avoid disagreements to keep a woman happy, but women respect men who speak their minds confidently. Being assertive doesn't mean being rude. It means saying what you think and setting boundaries. If something bothers you, speak up. If you don't agree with her, don't just nod along, express your perspective. A woman will never respect a man who doesn't respect himself enough, to be honest. Being kind isn't the problem. The problem is being too available. If you're constantly bending over backward for her, your kindness loses value. Instead, make sure your kindness is earned and appreciated. For example, instead of texting her every morning, surprise her with a thoughtful message every now and then. Instead of constantly complimenting her, save it for moments when it truly matters. This way, your kind gestures stand out and feel meaningful. Women appreciate attention, but only when it's balanced. Give too much, and she'll take it for granted. Give too little, and she may feel ignored. The trick is to be present, but not predictable. If you always reply instantly, mix it up. If you always initiate plans, let her reach out sometimes. This keeps the dynamic fresh and prevents your attention from losing its impact. Women often test men by asking for favors. If you always say yes, she may start to see you as weak. Learn to say no when necessary. If she values you, she'll respect your time and effort more. By applying these strategies, you'll naturally create a balance between confidence and kindness, making you irresistible. A truly irresistible man isn't just confident, he understands emotions, both his own and others. This emotional intelligence allows him to handle situations with maturity, maintain attraction, and build deep connections. It all starts with knowing yourself. How do you react when things don't go your way? Do you get overly emotional, or do you stay calm and collected? Women are naturally drawn to men who can stay composed under pressure. If you let your emotions control you, whether it's jealousy, frustration, or insecurity, you lose respect. Instead, recognize your emotions, control your reactions, and always act from a place of self-respect. Confidence without empathy turns into arrogance. The key to real connection is making a woman feel understood. That doesn't mean being overly emotional. It means listening actively. Instead of always offering solutions, just acknowledge her feelings. I get why that upset you. Or, that sounds frustrating. Women love men who can balance strength with emotional depth. Every situation is different. A smart man knows when to be serious and when to joke, when to push forward and when to step back. If you're too rigid, women will feel suffocated. Being adaptable shows emotional maturity. It proves you're confident enough to handle whatever life throws at you. Master these 3 skills, and you'll not only attract women, you'll keep them wanting more. Even when trying to balance kindness and confidence, many men make mistakes that hurt their chances with women. Here are 3 common pitfalls and how to avoid them. 1. Overcompensation. Many men, after realizing that being too nice doesn't work, swing too far in the opposite direction. They try to act overly tough, show no emotion, or treat women with indifference. This backfires because it makes them seem either fake or just plain unpleasant. The key is balance. Confidence doesn't mean being cold. Women are drawn to men who are strong yet capable of showing warmth when it matters. If you shift from being a nice guy to being an emotionless bad boy, you'll only end up pushing women away. 2. Inconsistency. One of the worst things you can do is send mixed signals. If one day you're confident and engaging, but the next you're unsure and needy, she won't know who you really are. This creates doubt and lowers attraction. Women respect men who are consistent. That doesn't mean being boring, it means being emotionally stable. If you show confidence, stick to it. If you set a boundary, don't break it just because she tests you. Show her that you're steady and reliable, no matter the situation. 3. Ignoring feedback. A high-value man pays attention to how women respond to him. If multiple women pull away, flake on plans, or lose interest, something is off. Instead of blaming them, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? Improvement comes from awareness. Observe what works, what doesn't, and adjust accordingly. The smartest men evolve, and that's what keeps them winning in the long run. Attracting women isn't about playing mind games or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about finding the right balance between confidence and kindness. Women aren't drawn to men who constantly seek approval, but they also don't stay with men who act distant and emotionally unavailable. The secret is to be strong, self-assured, and capable of kindness, but only when it's valued. If you've been struggling in your relationships, it's probably because you've been either too predictable or too detached. Women need to feel excited and engaged in a relationship, and that happens when they're with a man who respects himself, sets boundaries, and brings a little unpredictability into the dynamic. Confidence isn't about acting tough or suppressing emotions. It's about knowing your worth, standing by your decisions, and not letting fear of rejection dictate your actions. Now, if you start applying what you've learned today, you'll notice something interesting. The way women respond to you will shift. You'll no longer feel like you have to chase their attention. Instead, they'll start to see you as someone worth their time and effort, not because you played tricks, but because you became a man they naturally desire. Before you go, I have one small request. If this video helped you, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I put a lot of effort into making these, and your support really means a lot. Also, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's the biggest mistake you think men make when it comes to women? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.